All right, everybody. Thank you for coming out here tonight. We're going to be going over the Internet Recharter demonstration for Sequoia Council for October 20th, 2015. My name is Joseph. I'll be leading you here through the presentation. We've got a PowerPoint that we have lined up that's going to outline everything, and then we are going to do a quick demo of the online Recharter website so that you can get familiar with it. Right now we have one person in the room here with us, and we currently don't have anyone signed up online, but in case that changes, we are making a recording of this for preserving the data and sharing it with everyone else. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Today, we will be going over what you need before you start on Internet Rechartering, the changes to Rechartering this year. I'm going to be doing an online demo of the Rechartering and taking questions and answers and talking about the best practices for doing your troops charter. Now, before we go online, one person should be designated to handle the online rechartering process for the unit. You have hopefully by now received your recharter packet with your access codes inside of it. If you haven't yet received your charter packet, you need to get in contact with your district executive or your unit commissioner to find out where your charter packet is. You will need to have completed applications for all new youth and new adults who aren't already registered. Now, all funds are preferred to be turned into the unit so that the unit can turn around and write one check to the scout office. This is the preferred way of handling it, and that's simply because it gets a lot to do to enter dozens of checks when you're turning in your charter. We can still do that if your unit doesn't have a bank account set up to receive the money, but it makes things easier and quicker if you do that. So, what's new for the incentive for rechartering in 2016? Let me just adjust my screen here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Perfect. All right. Sorry about that. So, in 2016, the Sequoia Council Camp Incentive Program states that you must have your charter turned in to the council office by December 1st and have no errors or issues with it. This is a kind of an important stipulation. You can turn your charter in before this, and we actually recommend that simply because every now and then there's something that slips through the cracks, like you're missing a signature from one of the head people in the unit, or you thought Timmy was already registered, but you put him on, and now we need to track his parents down and get an application from him. That's why we encourage you to turn it in before December 1st, but for all units, get their charters in by December 1st with no errors on them. You're going to be part of the incentive program, which means you'll be getting discounts for the summer activities later on in the year if you meet the other requirements. If you have any questions about the incentive program, there was actually a letter inside your charter packets which explained it in greater detail. December 31st is the absolute last date for you to turn in your charter. In the years past, there's kind of been a grace period of a couple months after the deadline. This is not the case anymore. If your charter is not complete and turned into the office by December 31st, your unit gets dropped automatically. This means that you won't be covered under BSA insurance for any activities for the 2016 year, and it also means that in order to get started again, you have to basically start as a brand new unit, fill out all the new unit application and new applications for everyone in the unit. So, kind of important that it does get through correctly. Oh, and of course I moved my mouse. All right, what's continuing? All adult leaders must be youth protection trained before registering. This is the second year we've done that. It's been like this, and it's still the same case. If your adult leaders don't have youth protection training records in the office, they will be dropped off the charter. If they are in a key position such as committee chairman or unit leader, then that will actually hold up the charter process. So that's why it's important to make sure that you have everyone with valid youth protection training on file here at the office. If you don't, it's very simple to go online to my.scouting.org and take your youth protection training online through the website. At the very end, there's a certificate that you can print out. If there's a technical glitch or you don't have printer ink at the moment, you can always log back into the website after you take the training and reprint your certificate. Now, let's see here. I believe I just had all the points of that covered. Last one is down here at the bottom. All new adult applications must have a youth protection certificate turned in with them with the charter when it comes into the office. All right. So when it comes time to going online, you're going to be going to the Internet Recharter portion website, which is actually on a national website. You can get to that through the council website, which is www.seqbsa.org. The Internet Recharter website does require that you be using Internet Explorer. This is unfortunately what it is, and unfortunately you will have to do it that way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick demo. So here we have the council website, and we're going to scroll down here. We have Internet Rechartering. This will take you to the page where you've got all the information about going and doing your online charter. But for you right now, we're just going to go straight to the Recharter Now, big red button. So you have the option of doing this as everyone's going to be logging in as a first-time user. Even if you've done this before in previous years, for this next new year, you always start as a new user using the codes in your Recharter packet. But we're not going to be doing that right now. We're actually going to be going through the tutorial so that we can actually see the whole process. So this is what you're going to be seeing through the process here. Let me just zoom in a bit here so it's easier to see on the screen recording. All right. Internet Rechartering tutorial instructions. This is a little test setup that National has made up so that you can go through Rechartering Online as a test so you get familiar with everything. And there's a lot of text on the screen here. I'd highly recommend that you come back here to the website and do this on your own as a practice run yourself. For the time being here, we're just going to be focusing on these little blue boxes where they give us the instructions of what we're doing here. So since this is a practice run and this is the first time we're doing this, we're clicking as a first-time user. We have to enter in our access code, which it's giving us that right there, and it wants to know our unit number, which they're giving us right there. It's going to ask for you to agree to the confidentiality statement, which you have to. You will then be asked to set up a password. And you're all set. So this is going over the process here. We're going to begin. There's two ways you can start this. You can either pull the information from the local council database, or if you have a program such as Packmaster or Troopmaster, you can export the file from there. I recommend personally that you use the local council information because that's what we have registered right now, and hopefully it's what you have registered as well, but just as in case, it's always a good idea to load the local information so that we can make sure both our records and your records are the same. So we're going to go over the different steps here, starting off with it wants to make sure the information for your charter organization is correct. So check the address, check the information here. In this case, they want us to update the phone number to 555-555-5555. Same phone number that you see in every movie out there. So first step is it will show you your current roster, and you get to go through and say who is and isn't renewing. So in order to take someone's name off, you have to click them off here, and it'll show that you're dropping the person there. So once you've got everyone removed that is no longer renewing, you want to click next. So it's going to make sure it's like, hey, these are the people that you're renewing. these are the people who are not renewing. If you're satisfied with everything, go to next. Now, if you have some packs that are associated with your scout troop, or if you've got another unit that feeds into your unit, you have the option to promote people from one unit to the next. If you don't have any promotions, you can just skip this part here. But for the demo here, they want to show us promoting someone from the troop. And we're going to click the checkbox here to select the people that's going to be coming over. All right, the next step is, let's go ahead and add a new adult to your charter. So we're going to have to enter in some information. So we're going to choose the position. In this case, they're becoming a den leader. We're going to make sure all of their contact information is good here. So we have a driver's license here. And you'll need to make sure that you have the address and everything else as well. All right, more information. They'd like to have an email on file for them. So we're going to type that in. And as a side note here, it's actually best that you try and have emails for everyone in your unit registered with the council, because what happens is adult information has been saved successfully. So that's complete with that part. Periodically, the council will send out informational e-blasts to people about upcoming events, and we use the information from the charters that as for what the emails are, and that way we can send out information to you based off what position you hold. So for instance, if we have an upcoming Cub Scout event, we'll pull all the emails for leaders in Cub Scouts. If it's a council-wide event, we'll pull from the entire council. We try to not send out too much information and overwhelm your inbox. We try to make sure that we're just giving you the information you need to know. But that's why it's important that we ask you have your emails, your current email with your registration. Okay, moving on to the next section, we're now going to add a new youth. And you'll find that this is almost the same as the adult process, a little bit different information. We don't need driver's licenses for youth because, well, I don't know about you, that's a scary thought at times. All right. Again, we're just following the box here for this quick little demo. Boom. All right, and our youth has been successfully added. Now, one of the processes is you can update the current rosters if there's any position changes or if there's any address changes or phone number changes. You can update the information for your current registered people. It's pretty much the same as adding them, except all the information's already there. Okay, so now we're to the point where we're updating the positions. So Robert here is being changed. And then, so if you change someone from committee chairman to committee member, you'll have to go through and designate who the new committee chairman is. But for the purposes of this demo, we're not going to do that. At the very end here, they're going to go ahead and do a check on your roster to make sure everything looks good, to make sure you have the proper adults trained in the proper positions, that you have the positions necessary to successfully run in a unit, such as your unit leader, your committee chairman, committee members, adult leaders to help out. And it's going to ask you, just basically run you through the process here. If there's any errors, it'll let you know you are missing this position, or so-and-so needs to have youth protection training, things like that. But the demo here, we have validated without any errors, so you're going to go on to the next stage. and that is to review your final roster. Click there. You can come here and it's going to ask you to verify whether or not it's going to go over the cost for everyone here. You know, a lot of youth, you can sign them up for Boys Life here if you need to. You can also specify if the member is paid in this unit, or if a member is registered in another unit and is multiple in your unit, you can designate this here. That'll affect your costs. Okay. Here, we're going to be talking about the people who are no longer registering with the unit. They want to make sure that everyone who is being dropped from the unit actually was being dropped, and they ask you to double check, to reach out and contact the person and verify that, you know, yes, we are actually dropping out of scouting, we weren't having fun with the program, or, you know, oh, sorry, we actually do want to continue in scouting, we just haven't been to the last month or two of meetings because, you know, they just joined soccer, or they were moving and lost track of things like that. So they just make sure that everyone has actually confirmed that they do want to drop. Okay. And then once everything's completed, you're going to submit this to the council. It's also going to give you the option to print renewal application. And this is an example of the finished charter application. You're going to print out a copy of this. You're going to take it to your charter representative. You're going to take it to your committee member. You're going to have them sign it to show that they approve of everything that's going on here. And you're going to bring the signed application for the unit back to the council office with your money with your check, cash, however you're paying with this, and that is when you're going to be submitting your charter. Now, in the demo, we went through and added an adult and added a youth. For those people who added, you need to have an application from them. Okay, and this now just finished the demo. So we're going to go ahead and head back to our PowerPoint here. And continue on, and we're just going to cover the last couple of basics here. So you're all done online. What now? I just mentioned this here, but you're actually going to print out 3 copies of your completed charter. One will be kept in the unit's records. The other will be turned into the council office, and it says one is a backup. I believe that actually should be one is given to your charter organization so that they have information about the unit as well. You're going to take the completed charter to the charter organization rep and the institution head and the unit leader and get their signatures. Once you have the signatures, you're going to turn in 1 copy of the signed charter paperwork with all the completed applications for the new people and turn those in with the money to the council office. Either the Fresno office or the Visalia office is fine, whichever is closest for you. All right, so what now? Another youth or adult joins your unit after you have turned the charter. Just have them pay the fees for the remainder of 2015 and 2016 when you turn in their application. The cost of scouting is prorated based off the month you join. So if you join in October now, you're going to pay $6 for the rest of 2015 and $24 for all of 2016. Okay? If you added a youth through the Recharter system, they have only been charged for 2016 fees. So if you're doing the charter right now and you have a scout that just joined in, the charter is only going to charge them for 2016 registration. So you'll need to collect the extra money for the rest of this year when you turn in their application. All right. We mentioned earlier, or I don't think we did, this was just before the presentation, the charters are due into the council office by December 31st, 2015. On the 31st, the scout offices will close at 12 p.m. on that date. Any unit that is not chartered by then are considered lapsed and the unit is dropped from scouting. The charters can be turned in at any time into the council office before that, or to the unit commissioner and the district executive. If you turn it in early, it is good because if there's any problems with the charter, the issues can be corrected before the drop deadline. The unit Journey to Excellence sheets, which is part of Recharter, are due at the same time as your charter paperwork. If you need help with your Journey to Excellence papers, talk to your unit commissioner and they can help you in finding your score. And for 2016, we are offering the incentive program so that if you turn in your charter by December 1st of 2015 and it has no issues on it whatsoever, everything goes through okay, you qualify for the incentive program along with your Friends of Scouting pledges. And all the information about the incentive program is actually already in your charter packets right now. So at this point, I open it up to you if you have any questions. You're giving me the thumbs up.
Yeah. Do you mind going back 3 slides so I can take a picture?
Of course.
Or what? Maybe the one prior, that one. Yes, that one.
Okay, of course. Feel free to take a screen capture of this. At this point, I want to thank you all for coming out here. And if you're kind of curious why there's a fox theme to this whole presentation, I myself have gone through the Wood Badge program in 2013, and I was a proud member of the Foxes. Part of my ticket was helping set up this online training demonstration. I had the help of Michael Foster, who is an owl from the Wood Badge program as well. And if you have any questions about anything regarding online charter, please contact your district executive. For San Joaquin District, it's Michael Foster and Cynthia Ruiz. If you're not San Joaquin District, we have professionals in the offices to help you out. Feel free to give us a call. Thank you all for coming. Have a great night.